Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we are going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition and the recent OnlyFans debacle and what that teaches us as the Dungeons & Dragons community about post-alignment Dungeons & Dragons and whether it should be adopted or avoided like the plague. All right, so let's get into this. So let me define what happened. It was really fascinating. It was a big deal last week. And it made international news, right? So what was the story? Okay, so let's talk about OnlyFans. First of all, I have never been on OnlyFans. I'm not only a fan of anyone, right? So one of the reasons why I've never been on OnlyFans is, from what I had learned, there's a lot of spicy content on OnlyFans. So let's describe what spicy content is. So spicy, that's my evangelical Christian talk for material that would be in a rated X movie, a triple X film or an NC-17 film, right? Where like people are sans clothing, like, and then they do things sans clothing, right? So now, like, for evangelical Christians, any of these sites are no-nos, right? So from what I understand, OnlyFans kind of changed this, and what it did was it just let YouTubers and other celebrities just set up a channel, almost like a YouTube channel, right? But they were putting content that generally would have went on to spicy sites, triple X sites, and it wasn't counting as triple X, right? It was just like an interaction between somebody's fans and them. And so there was like this little bit of a dodge where there was all this triple X action happening on a site that was not considered a triple X site, right? So this was going on for a while, and I blissfully ignored it because that's just not my scene. Like I don't have I'm not interested in that, right? Like as an evangelical Christian, it's not something we can interact with, right? But then this crossed into D&D world, and we'll get there, right? So OnlyFans is moving along, and they got $1 billion valuation, right? So they're looking at doing an IP, and they're looking on putting their big girl pants on and acting like a real business, right? And so they're like, oh yeah, we got $1 billion IP, valuation. Maybe we should do an initial public offering, right? An IPO, sorry, an IPO. They're thinking about doing an IPO. Thinking about making businessy moves, right? And what happened was all of a sudden, they're payment partners. Right? And what are payment partners? Payment partners are the companies that take money for you, right? Dealing with money is incredibly difficult, right? So basically, most companies don't really, deal with their own payments, right? They have corporations that are like, hey, you want to pay us? Do it through PayPal. You do it through these, Amex cards, right? And they give us the money, right? And very few companies, especially online, deal with cash or any of that nonsense anymore. They're like, hey, you got a big payment partner, they'll just plug in their thing into our website and we're going to collect it, right? So, and we'll collect the payment, right? Well, when OnlyFans went to become a real business, right? They're like, hey, we got growth, we got scale. Let's be a real business. Their payment partner was like, whoa, you got a lot of weird stuff on your site. We don't really do business with groups like this, right? They gotta go get some jank, payment partner, and not the big dogs don't play with this, right? Like, this is shady. This is sus, right? And so basically, OnlyFans was like, that's it. We out of the spicy content business, right? And they were like, hey, we're going legit. We're just going to have, celebrities and YouTubers and like, people that people want to talk to and talk about and interact with. Maybe they just keep their clothes on, right? Like, right? And so they did this, right? And like, they're like, because we want to be a real business. We don't want to be like, X Hub, right? Like, right? Yeah. All right. So that, so they say that, right? Well, that lasted about a day, right? And everybody was like, and like essentially all of OnlyFans actual subscribers were like, if we don't get the spicy content, you ain't going to get our dollars every month, right? And so they reversed it in literally within like 48 hours. And they were like, remember when we said no spicy content? spicy content all you want. We're back, and we're super sorry that we listened to our payment partners, right? And so it was like a really interesting thing. Now, what's this got to do with D&D? All right, here you go. Post-alignment D&D. Okay, let's talk about post-alignment D&D. It's my greatest fear. It keeps me up at night. It makes me shed crocodile tears every now and then because I see it quickly coming, and I think the Dungeons & Dragons design team wants it. They're removing alignment from the game. And the reason why is that, modern people are like, good, evil? There's no good evil. There's just people. And if you murdered a bunch of people, we're sure you had a good justifying reason for it, or you were treated poorly as a child, right? So, that's post-alignment, right? And so basically, this post-alignment D&D, they're going to strip, they're already doing it. They're stripping alignment out of the game because modern people don't like the idea of good and evil. I get it. I totally understand why modern people would want to think about good and evil because, like all human beings, evangelical Christian note here, all people are evil. They all sin, right? And if you're evil, you go to hell. Then, to fix that problem, you say, Jesus Christ, can you please pay for my sins? And I accept you as my Savior, and I will dedicate my life to you, right? And I believe in you, and I believe your ability to save me, right? So basically, and then you are considered good by God, even though you're evil, right? And modern people don't want to think about, living in hell forever. That is not cool, right? So basically, here's the kicker, right? When you go to post-alignment and you remove alignment again from the game, you're going to swiftly need to remove all faith-based heroes. You're going to need to remove clerics. You're going to remove paladins, right? So, but once you get there, the spicy content comes quick. Everybody's like, no alignment on this sheet? I'm going to do all kinds of spicy stuff, right? And it just comes, and you can attach it to the game because there's nothing telling you can't. Right? I don't go to OnlyFans because I'm an evangelical Christian, right? And so, but if you stripped that lawful good alignment from me, I'd be over there, right? Pretty straightforward, right? So it's, it is, and so basically here's where we land. Fundamentally, it's super clear. Okay, I don't want post-alignment Dungeons & Dragons, right? But it's not fair for me to say, Wizards of the Coast, don't do post-alignment Dungeons & Dragons because it's not good for a relationship with God, right? It's not and you say, you should care about morality, right? I'm an evangelical Christian. They don't care about that. But what I can say is, Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro, you don't want to go post-alignment D&D because it's bad business, right? OnlyFans look like a bunch of jack-o'-moles, right? They look like stark raving idiots that week. They were like, no spicy content. 48 hours later, we're so sorry we said no spicy content. Spicy content's back, right? And you were like, ugh, that did not look good, right? So the reality is, OnlyFans is in a problem, right? They don't know, they can't figure out if they want to do spicy content or if they don't want to do spicy content. And it makes their company look bad, right? Because at first they were like, hey, all you people putting spicy content on our, you can go take a hike. We're going to do what real businesses do. And then they had to go back and say, oh, we're so sorry. All you spicy content creators, we want to make sure you're here doing what you do, right? But the reality is, Dungeons & Dragons, it will not be benefited by post-alignment Dungeons & Dragons. They will end up looking just like OnlyFans, right? Your creator put alignment in the game from the beginning, right? The game is about heroes. Morality is there. Don't OnlyFans yourself, Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro. Not because some evangelical Christian said you shouldn't, because it's bad business, right? It's just bad business. Oh, that's my opinion. What do you think? Do you think Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast should do what OnlyFans did and get the same response? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.